It's 2 o'clock, so we will begin the meeting. This is a meeting of the Board of Trustees, Weatherford College. Today is Thursday, November 12th, 2020, and it is 2 p.m. As I said. We're in the Aline Strain Community Room of the Doss Student Center, which is located at 225 College Park Drive, Weatherford, Parker County, Texas, to consider and act on the posted agenda. Agenda item number 1 is call to order, which I've just gone through, and we will go to Mr. Baker and ask him to give the invocation.
Please join me in prayer. Lord, we're thankful again for the sunshine, for the beautiful weather you've given us, for this semester where our students are still here on campus and still learning, for the veterans that were honored yesterday, and for the Board of Trustees that's here volunteering today. Thank you for them. Please be with them and with our college as we finish this semester strong. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Stand with me and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Be seated. Agenda item number 2 is public comment for individuals not on the agenda, and I understand there are no one signed up for that, so we'll go to number 3, which would be the President's report. President Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman and members of the Weatherford College Board of Trustees, I would like to give a few brief recognitions and employee notices. Recognitions. Congratulations to Weatherford College Foundation President Bob Glenn on recently being named winner of the Roger Grizzard Community Service Award at the 100th Weatherford Chamber of Commerce Banquet. We are very proud of Bob for carrying on Roger's legacy of community service. Congratulations to WC freshman Xian Lee for advancing to the final round at the Charleston International Music Competition. Our student artists continue to raise the institutional profile of Weatherford College on an international scale. Thanks to Johnny Emmons and team, the 2nd annual Weatherford College Alumni Rodeo was a great success. Cowboys and cowgirls traveled across the country to have fun and reconnect with WC friends. Go Coyotes! Congratulations to Chief Paul Stone and all who assisted with our COVID-modified Safe Halloween event. Over 1,000 cars and countless children participated in the annual event. Vance Christie and team somehow safely hosted a scaled-down version of our annual Agricultural Leadership Development, LDE, in which FFA students from across much of the state participated. Our institutional profile and the recognition of the WC brand continues to increase on a variety of fronts. Thank you to all who supported this event. Congratulations to the creative and marketing team at WC for recently receiving several awards. The National Council for Marketing and Public Relations Region 4, which includes colleges from Arkansas, Colorado, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Texas, and Wyoming, issued 2 gold, 2 silver, and 1 bronze award. Thank you, team, for your excellent work. Employee notices. DMAC Local requires the college president to provide the names of contract employees that have resigned since the last board meeting. Donald Fear, a law enforcement academy instructor, has resigned effective 11/13/2020. Sandra Hardnett, an education instructor, retired effective 12/31/2020. And Don Jacobs, a psychology instructor, has retired effective 12/31/2020. We thank Donald, Sandra, and Don for their service and wish them the very best in future endeavors. Mr. Chairman, that concludes the President's report.
Thank you, Dr. Farmer. I'd like to also congratulate Dr. Farmer, who was recognized Citizen of the Year for the Weatherford Chamber of Commerce.
Here, here.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of people to congratulate, and we're so lucky to have all these people. We'll move to number 4 on the agenda, the consent agenda and financial reports. That includes the posted items, approval of the minutes, financial reports, annual review of CAK local policy appropriations, revenue sources, investments, the chief executive office reporting requirements under TEC 51-253C, server migration, campus controls, retro phase 1 contract, and a revision of the capitalization policy. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's approved. Number 5, consideration possible action, TASB policy update 39, Ms. Stone.
Good afternoon. As you all know, the college partners with TASB Policy Service to update our legal and local policies. And this afternoon, we bring you update 39, which includes 3 local policies that's updating our Title IX policies. So it's presented there for your approval.
Is there a motion to approve the policy update?
I so move.
Second?
I'll second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye. Aye. That's approved. Thank you, Ms. Number 6, President's Report. Dr. Farmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have items B and C have been presented to you in writing as we've done in the past, but today for item A, we have the Weatherford College Foundation Annual Report. I cannot tell you how proud I am of the Weatherford College Foundation under the leadership of President Bob Glenn, the Executive Committee, and Brent Baker, the Executive Director of the Weatherford College Foundation. They have shattered all previous records, as you are about to see. So with that intro, I would ask you to entertain some comments from Brent Baker.
Thank you, President Farmer. Appreciate that. A quick presentation for you today. I'd like to introduce, you've already acknowledged Bob Glenn. We'll hear more about him in a minute. Glad to have him here. Bob, thank you. And Evelyn Payne is here. Evelyn is my executive assistant, and anything the foundation does goes through her. So we appreciate her hard work as well. And I want to thank Dr. Cantrell and the business office for all they do to help us with managing our foundation funds, and there are a lot more funds to manage now. That's great news. We do this every year, but since we have 2 new board members, I want to go over a little bit of the basics of the foundation. The mission of the Weatherford College Foundation is to raise funds to support the college and the students of Weatherford College. It was established in 1978, and we had a great year. Let me show you. First of all, we have a wonderful board, a 25-member board of directors that are volunteers, obviously, led by Mr. Bob Glenn, our president. And you see the other officers there on the executive committee that end up spending a little bit more time than the other board members to manage the foundation and keep it going in the right direction. The rest of the board looks like a who's who list of Weatherford and Parker County, and even in Wise and Palo Pinto County. And if you see any of these individuals in the community, I'd appreciate you thanking them on behalf of the college. They do tremendous work, and you see some of our larger donors on that list of foundation board members as well. I'd like to talk about the growth of the foundation. And board members, in your packets, you have this presentation. There is one error in your packet, I believe. In your packet, this one says net asset growth over 10 years. It's actually over 25 years, but the numbers are correct. And as you can see there, I'm going to try this new toy out. It's kind of fun. For the first time in our history, we have crossed the $10 million mark for net assets for the Weatherford College Foundation. A tremendous accomplishment that we are just so proud of that. And that's not just a big savings account. Those are dollars that are used to benefit students every single semester here at Weatherford College. And you can see that we have doubled in our net assets since 2011. So it's been a tremendous couple of years for our foundation. Let's talk about the last 5 years. And drilling down from the net assets, let's talk about contributions. These are essentially the donations that have come in from our wonderful donors for the Weatherford College Foundation. And Last year, you might remember, I was very pleased to report that we had raised over $590,000, and we were off the sesquicentennial, or actually in the middle of the sesquicentennial. Really was President Farmer's vision for the college and the vision of this board just really headed in the right direction, and the donors began to respond. Well, here we are 12 months later, and since that time, in the last fiscal year, which ended August 31st, we raised $1.2 million for the foundation. Just an incredible, incredible year of fundraising. In the middle of a global pandemic, no less. Let's talk about scholarships. It's our bread and butter. We do several things for the college, but scholarships remains one of our highest priorities. And so far in the current academic year that just began, we have awarded over $336,000 in scholarships to local students and students all across our area. I believe that number will probably go up by the end of the academic year because we continue to give some scholarships that take a little bit more work to find the right student. But just incredible how many lives are being changed. And let me give you an idea of how that's grown. This is scholarships awarded by the foundation over the past 10 years. And you can see there that hitting over $300,000 for the first time, basically we are giving 3 times as much scholarship money as we did 10 years ago. And you can imagine how many lives are being changed. Just a wonderful number there. Okay, so the last 12 months, you may have noticed a lot of photos of new donors, new endowed scholarship donors. And so an endowed scholarship is a gift of at least $10,000, and we do not touch the principal. We only use the interest earned off of that principal for the future. The good part about these endowed scholarships is they will always be here. As long as there's a Weatherford College, my grandkids and great-grandkids, when they're going to Weatherford College, these scholarships will still be being given out because of the generosity of these donors. So over the last 12 months, we've had 30 new scholarship endowments established in the foundation. That's crazy. Well, how many of these 30 were directly because of Bob Glenn? 25 of those 30. Directly because of the work of Bob Glenn. Bob Glenn came to us 18 months ago and asked us if he could have an office and he could volunteer for us a couple days a week to bring in scholarship monies for the foundation. Didn't take long for us to say yes to that offer. And so this is over the last 12 months. Now, let's go back a little bit further, if you don't mind, to the last 18 months since Bob started doing this. 37 new scholarship endowments to the Weatherford College Foundation, totaling $408,000. That is huge for our college and for our foundation. And actually, this is already out of date because Bob got one this morning, so I can't keep up with the guy. And as much as I love having all of these donors, you know, many of these donors had no previous connection to Weatherford College. Some of them did, but many of them didn't. And so now they're part of the family, right? And some of them have already given again a second time since Bob started. As much as I love having in the family, when I look at this list, I think of faces of students who are being benefited by every one of these funds. And that makes it really easy to get up in the morning and come to work and be a part of that. And so I'd like to take this time to, again, thank Bob Glenn for all he's done. Bob, would you like to say anything?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So there are a couple of other things that we are doing with the foundation over the past 12 months. The Student Emergency Fund has been it's been pretty amazing since the pandemic really took hold in March. You can imagine students who had a job at a restaurant or were laid off from their job. Many of our students, as you know, work part-time or full-time. Many of their parents were laid off. And so you can imagine how many financial dire situations there have been among our students since March of this year. And so really our people have responded. Since March, we had 47 gifts to the Student Emergency Fund, which is a fund that takes care of emergency needs of students that, maybe they don't have enough groceries to make the end of the week. Maybe their utilities are about to be cut off. Maybe they need a laptop because their class was put online all of a sudden and they don't have a way to finish the course, things like that. So we've had 47 gifts totaling $27,000 to the Student Emergency Fund since March. And the vast majority of those gifts have been from our Weatherford College employees.
Yes.
They're really heavily involved in the process. As a matter of fact, the selections and the nominations come from our employees. And so I'm really proud of our people. This really is a culture of caring here at Weatherford College. And finally, we're raising funds for our Fields of Dreams turf campaign, putting artificial turf on both Stewart Field and Roger Williams Ballpark. As you know, Stewart Field is complete. We hope to take care of Williams Ballpark in the near future. And both facilities combined, we've brought in over $500,000 in pledges and gifts for that turf campaign. So far it's going well. Do you have any questions about the Weatherford College Foundation? That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guided Pathway.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we do have the written report. The Guided Pathways includes information regarding our QEP, our Quality Enhancement Plan. As you know, we have a forthcoming SACS reaffirmation. And then also included in your packet are the demand study updates. So we have various personnel here, including Mr. Indy and Dr. Arlene Atkins. If you have any questions, we can entertain those at this time, or you're welcome to reach out to us at a later time should you have any questions.
Any questions from the board? Comments? All right. Number 8, announcements. Mr. Baker?
Yes, sir. We do have a couple of fine arts events coming up that will be virtual in nature, including a concert from the winner of the Weatherford College International Piano Competition from this past year. She'll present a concert that will be streamed online this coming Friday. And we'll also have another concert performance by Shaun Lee, who President Farmer listed off earlier in his report. That will also be a virtual concert as well. And then we do have our Employee Awards Dinner Friday, December the 4th at the Springs, and the board, you're always invited to that event. Thank you.
Anything else, Dr. Farmer?
No, sir.
Moving to number 9, we'll close the open session, and in about 2 minutes we'll go into the closed session. It's based on the posted 3 items, A, B, and C. So with that, did you have something, Leila?
No.
All right, we're adjourned until we finish our closed session. All right, it's about 12 minutes, 12 minutes after 3, and so we are now in open session again. We will move to agenda item number 10, consideration, possible action on real property, and we have 2 items there that we need to discuss at this time. In our closed sessions, we were talking to the construction manager of Imperial Construction Company, who is doing the work for the Workforce and Emerging Technologies building that's being built. And we've now come down to a point in that process where we need to fund the next stage of the construction. And so we will be discussing in open session a guaranteed maximum price amendment for what's known as package 2.1 of the Workforce and Emerging Technologies building project. And in order to fund that next portion of the construction, the board needs to consider authorizing a figure of $8,670,062 to fund that project. And so that is known as the guaranteed maximum price amendment for the package that we're talking about. So my question is, would anyone like to make a motion to approve the funding of package 2.1 in that amount, $8,670,062? Is there such a motion?
Also moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, motion second, all in favor of approving that amount of money, say aye.
Aye.
Let's raise our hands. All in favor? That's unanimous. Thank you. That's motion number one concerning the real property part of our open session. Motion number two relates to property in Aledo, Texas, that it's college property. It's located on the north side of Old Weatherford Road, consisting of 34.774 acres of unimproved land. It's not required for the educational mission of Weatherford College. And we've had that property for quite a while. Dr. Farmer, would you just give a little bit of a history of that land?
Yes, sir. We acquired that land many, many years ago prior to my arrival here with the thought that Weatherford College might build an outreach location there should Aledo High School build a second high school. Aledo ISD owns the adjoining land. They have since announced that they are building a middle school, not rather than a high school, on that property, and they've now entered contract with a construction firm to build houses on the adjoining land. And therefore, the educational purpose has diminished for Weatherford College, but the value of that land has significantly increased. And so it makes sense for us now to entertain putting that land on the market and reinvesting that in an endeavor that more aligns with our educational mission.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Farmer.
Yes,
So, to bring that to a head here for these purposes, we feel like that it's in our best interest to sell that land for the best price that we can get. So I'd like to see if there's a motion that the board would direct the administration to seek the sale of the property in accordance with applicable regulations and subject to the approval of any sale by this board, and put that property on the market and see what we can do to sell it. Is there a motion to that effect?
I so move.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Motion second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Raise your hands. Thank you. That's approved. All right. Moving ahead, we go to agenda item number 11, consideration possible action, appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. We have no action or no consideration that needs to be put in on that particular item. So now we move to agenda item number 12, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
In the absence of our beloved Dr. Marlette, I'll make that motion.
All right.
He's not here
Is there a
today.
second?
I'll second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
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 We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mac.
Ma'am.